Y'all, remember when music just was, right? When a song came on and you let it take you somewhere. Before every track had to be a hit, before every artist had to be compared, before every album release turned into a war zone on the timeline. You didn't overanalyze it. You didn't compare it to someone else's discography. You didn't care how many streams it had or what Anthony Fantano, Pitchfork, or some viral tweet said about it. You just felt it. Music used to be something we just felt. A song could hit your soul without needing the chart. An artist could be your favorite without you having to defend them like you in a courtroom. But somewhere along the way, we lost that. Now music is treated less like an experience and more like a battleground. Before an album can even settle into our ears, it's already been dissected, ranked, compared, and thrown into a debate no one actually asked for. Somewhere, music stopped being about the experience and became about the debate. Who sold the most? Who's the GOAT? Who flopped? And God forbid you say you don't like an album. Huh? Because now you got to fight for your life in the comments. If you say your album is great or an album is great, you have to prove why. If you say you don't like something, you're a hater. If a song isn't breaking records, it's a flop. If an artist isn't getting enough numbers, people start acting like their entire career is on life support. It's as if music has become less about what it makes you feel and more about what it represents. A status symbol, a competition, an endless cycle of online arguments where nobody is even talking about the actual music. So, how did we get here? How did music, one of the purest forms of expression, become a battleground of stats and numbers? And more importantly, can we get back to just enjoying it? That's what I'm just yapping about today. The lost art of enjoying music. Let's be real, y'all. Music has always had competition. I'm not saying it didn't. Music has always had a competitive side. There were always debates about which artists were the best, which albums defined an era, or which songs deserve to be called classics. People have been arguing about this since the days of jazz clubs, record stores, and barbershops. You feel me? The Beatles versus the Rolling Stones. AC/DC versus Metallica. Rap beefs like Biggie versus Pac. East Coast versus West Coast. Jay-Z versus Nas. Even pop comparisons became a sport. Britney versus Christina. Beyonce versus literally every singer ever. But something really fundamentally changed. The difference is those debates used to be fun. Some did get out of hand. Okay. Not gonna lie there. But they were conversations. They were based on taste and feeling, not statistics and sales projections. Back then, if you and your friends argued about who was better, Michael Jackson or Prince, Outkast or Wu-Tang, Kanye or Jay-Z, you actually listened to the music and made your case based on what you heard. You go back and forth with your friends, you argue about who had the best verse, and then, this is the crazy part, you actually sit down and listen to the music. Now it feels like people are picking sides before they even press play. Now, before a new album even drops, the conversation is already shaped by sales expectations, projections, and social media narratives. A song could be out for an hour, And people will already be calling it a classic or a flop. Not because they sat with it, not because they actually let it settle, but because that's how music discourse works now. Think about it. How many times have you seen an album drop and within minutes, timelines are flooded with reaction gifs, exaggerated praise, or dismissive criticism? Pretty instant, right? And let's be honest, a lot of those reactions aren't even based on a real listen. People are just looking for engagement, trying to be the first to have a take, defending their favorite artist before anyone can say something negative. My God, a new album drops, and before you can even form your own opinion, there's a narrative. If it's from a big artist, it's either groundbreaking or a flop within hours. Not days, not weeks, hours. Shit. Sometimes even minutes. The worst part, a lot of people aren't even listening for themselves. They're listening for content, reaction videos, hot takes, tweets to go viral. Everything is about engagement. It's no longer about experiencing the music. It's about reacting to it as fast as possible. Music isn't just music anymore. It's a sport. And we're all keeping score. Let's look at an example, right? Kendrick Lamar drops Mr. Around the Big Steppers. People had fully formed reviews within hours. Some called it the best thing he's ever made within an hour. The internet is split. Some people call it a masterpiece. Others say it's mid, trash. We waited 5 years for this. And you know damn well a few folks didn't even make it past track 3. The reality is, an album like that demands time. It's layered, it's complex. It's not something you just skim through in one sitting and instantly rank against an artist's entire catalog. And now, months later, people are calling it one of the best personal and mature albums of all time. An album that shows true growth in a person and an artistry. And some of the people calling it a masterpiece was the same person dropping tweets that it sucked and was a flop. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Like, same thing happened with Drake's Honestly Nevermind. That album came out, and before people even figured out what he was trying to do, it was labeled a flop. A month later, TikTok had folks dancing to it like it was the best thing ever. And people loved the fact he tried something new, something different for his discography. So did the music change? No. The conversation around it did. I think we don't let music breathe anymore. We rush to put it into categories: hit or miss, classic or flop, the best thing ever, completely forgettable. But music isn't supposed to be consumed that way. Some songs take time to hit. Some albums grow on you. Some records don't make sense until you live with them for a while. Some albums don't make sense until you've been in the same position. Think of all the love songs you know, right? All the love songs you love right now. You didn't understand them until you found love or been through a heartbreak. But the way we engage with music now, it doesn't allow for that. So what really changed, right? Why are we so quick to decide how we feel instead of just sitting with the music? Let's take it back to where this started. And a big part of the problem is, you guessed it, stan culture. Fans have always been passionate about their favorite artist. Always. But stan culture, the stans now, that's something different. Stan culture. The reason why a difference in opinion can turn into an all-out cyber war. And quite possibly a literal war at some times. The concept of standing isn't new. You know, Eminem literally coined the term in 2000 with Stan, a song about an obsessive fan who took things way too far. We all know the song. What is new is how that obsession has gone completely mainstream. And I get it. I get it. We all love our favorite artists, but let's be real. Some of y'all treat musicians like your landlord owes them money or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, stan culture isn't just about loving an artist, it's about defending them at all costs. It's about treating music like a zero-sum game where any criticism of your favorite artist is a personal attack and any praise of another artist is somehow a threat. You've seen it. The second someone tweets, I wasn't feeling this album, they hit with, you just don't understand real music, or you never liked them anyway, fucking hater. Show me your favorite artist so I could drag them. I bet you like them. Like, yo, God forbid you just say you don't like something. Now you have people in your mentions telling you that your taste is garbage. You're a fake fan, that you need to tap in. And if you do like something, now you have to defend it. What? Why? You literally have to defend why you like it as if it's your personal taste needs a PowerPoint presentation and a notarized statement with sources. Cite them, nigga. Like, back in the day, being a fan meant buying CDs, going to concerts, and telling your friends about your favorite songs. Putting your friends on it. Yo, listen to this. Now it means defending your fave on social media like your life depended on it. You seen it. You know what I'm talking about. Someone says, I don't really like this new Nicki Minaj track. And suddenly, they're getting quote retweeted into oblivion. Barbs filling their DMs full of threats. You have no taste. You're just a hater. Ratio. I hope you die. Leaking addresses and shit over a fucking song I didn't like. Like, damn. Like, what happened to difference in opinion, different strokes for different folks? And the most frustrating part, even if you make a great point about the music, the argument isn't even about music anymore. It goes straight to numbers. People argue about first week sales, streaming records, Spotify placements, Billboard rankings, things that have nothing to do with whether the music is good. And we become so obsessed with these numbers that they actually dictate how people feel about a song. Who sold more? Who charted higher? Who broke that record? Who broke what record? If an album sells well, it's a win. If it doesn't, it's a failure. Doesn't matter if it's good or not. Doesn't matter if it connects with people. The numbers decide its fate. And yeah, sales are cool, but let me ask you something. Do you like the song? Do you feel something when you hear it? Or are you just going along with what the internet decided? Would you stop liking a song just because it didn't go number one? Because if your answer is yes, congratulations. Clap it up. If you're only listening to music based on what's winning, you don't actually love music. You just love being on the winning team. And that brings us to our next problem. The way we listen to music has changed drastically. Streaming made music easier to access, but it also made it disposable. Streaming changed the game, no question. But it also changed, I think, how we listen. Back in the day when you brought a CD, you were invested. You listened to it all the way through because you paid for it. You sat with it. You learned the lyrics. You let it sink in. Back then, if you wanted to hear an album, you had to commit. You sit down, unwrap that CD, and experience the whole thing. Maybe even read the liner notes, ran it back a few times. You learn the lyrics. You really let it sink in. Now, you can skip through an album in 5 minutes, grab the songs you like, and move on. If something doesn't hook you in the first 15 seconds, you swipe away. Don't like it, fuck it. And that's what you do, cool. If that's what you do. But it's also killing the art of living with music. Because now, since artists know this, albums are getting shorter, songs are getting simpler, and everything is being optimized for engagement, not experience. Artists used to take risks because they knew their fans would sit with their work. Now they're afraid if track one doesn't hook you in the first 5 seconds, you're out. That's why albums are shorter, choruses are catchier. Everybody wants a TikTok hit because if it's not trending, it's dead on arrival. Cut. Think about it. Do you really listen to albums anymore? Or do you just skim through them to see if you like anything? The art of sitting with music, really living with an album, playing it on repeat, letting it grow on you is dying. And if we don't slow down, we're going to lose the thing that makes music special in the first place. And in that case, stop going for the popular to think it's special. There's a difference between discovering music and waiting for permission to like it. A lot of y'all don't listen to music because you're curious, because you want to experience something new, or because you generally love the art of it. You wait. You wait to see if it trends. You wait to see if the internet calls it a hit. You wait to see if your favorite influencer, YouTuber, or Twitter mutuals say it's good before you even press play. We used to stumble upon songs and let them surprise us. We find a random album in a record store, download something off LimeWire off pure instinct, and hope it wasn't a virus. Or hear something fire in a movie soundtrack and rush to find out who made it. We trusted our ears, y'all. We trusted our own taste. Now, y'all don't even listen unless there's already hype around it. If a project isn't already viral, it's like it doesn't exist. And it's not just new music. Y'all do this with old music too. It takes one sample in a mainstream hit for people to suddenly discover a classic. One TikTok trend and now everybody's acting like they've been a fan since day one. Like, be honest. If that song wasn't all over on your timeline, would you have ever clicked play? This is why some of the best music to me gets overlooked. Some of the most creative, genre-pushing, experimental, or deeply personal projects never get the recognition they deserve. Not because the art isn't good, but because they didn't blow up fast enough. Y'all treat music like stocks. Shit making me mad. If it doesn't rise in value in the first week, it's discarded. But some albums don't hit you right away. Some music needs time. Some artists take risks that don't go viral overnight, but end up defining a generation. If you only listen to what's popular, what's trending, what has the most TikTok sounds, then you're not really listening to music. You're just following the crowd. Y'all don't listen to music anymore. Y'all just skim through it. Seriously, when was the last time you actually sat with a song? Tell me. When was the last time you played an album from start to finish? No skips, no distractions, no checking social media to see what other people think. When was the last time you listened to the lyrics, the layers in the production, the way a song is structured, the emotion in someone's voice? Your attention span is garbage now. Music isn't just about how it sounds. It's about how it feels. And if you can't feel something, if you don't even give it time to sink in. But y'all treat music like fast food now. You take one bite, decide if it's good or not, and move on. If a song doesn't hook you, you skip. If an album doesn't grab you in one listen, you'll never come back to it. Y'all don't live with music. Y'all don't let it grow. Think about it. Some of the best albums in history weren't immediate classics. They took time. They challenged listeners. They pushed boundaries. They weren't meant to be consumed and discarded in one weekend. That's why some albums sound better years later. Because you changed. Because you've been through some shit now. Because you're finally in the right place to get it. And it's not just personal growth, it's culture. Some genres demand patience. Some music requires you to sit with it, to catch the details, to appreciate the artistry. But when you treat music like content instead of art, you miss all of that. You don't give it a chance to leave an impact. Music isn't a TikTok trend. It's not a meme. It's not just background noise for your playlist. It's an experience. But if you don't slow down and actually listen, you're never going to feel it. A lot of y'all listen to the same 5 artists, the same 5 sounds, the same 5 playlists on repeat, and then turn around and say, music is boring now. Music isn't boring. You just don't explore. There's a whole world of sound out there. There's underground hip hop that's pushing the culture forward. Experimental rock that bends genres in ways you never imagined. Regional scenes creating movements that are influencing the mainstream right now. But if it's not already viral, y'all act like it don't exist. How many of y'all really explore music or tap into different regions of music? Bounce music from New Orleans. Chopped and Screwed out of Houston. Go-Go from DC. New Jersey club music. UK drill. Afro fusion. If you don't even attempt to step outside of what's already spoon-fed to you, you're missing out on some of the most innovative, raw, and real music being made. There's people out here disrespecting soul music and neo-soul music. What? What? Some of this music isn't instantly accessible. I get it. Some of it takes a minute to appreciate. Some of it is tied to culture, to history, to movements that you might not be familiar with. But that's the point. Music isn't supposed to just fit neatly into your algorithm. It's supposed to challenge you, expose you to something new, and make you feel something different. And of course, there's music and songs that are on a comfort base, a comfort level. But if you only listen to what's mainstream, you're letting the industry decide your taste for you. You're only hearing what's been pre-approved by marketing teams and playlist curators. But the real magic, the real art that's happening outside of the mainstream, that's happening in the underground scenes and the regional sounds and the independent artists who don't care about charting, they just care about creating. Go on Bandcamp for one day and just listen to new projects, listen to new artists. I promise you. Whatever your favorite genre is, go on Bandcamp, click on your favorite genre, go to the 7th page and just click on an album and press play. You'll never know. You never know what you might discover. Your new favorite artist could be right there. If you think music is boring, maybe it's not the music. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're not looking hard enough. So, is there a way to fix this? I think so. Can we go back to just enjoying music without all the noise? I think so.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Can we go back to just listening? I think we can. But it starts with a shift in how we engage with music. It starts with us. Next time you listen to an album, try this. Put your phone down, put it on Do Not Disturb, focus mode, whatever. Stop checking Twitter reactions or browsing through Instagram and TikTok while you listen to see which song is on a reel or a viral sound. Play the album all the way through from start to finish, no skipping. Sit with it, give it time, run it back. Let yourself feel it before forming an opinion. And most importantly, stop arguing about the numbers, dog. Because at the end of the day, music isn't just about what's popular. It's not about who's winning. It's not about numbers or charts or sales or stand wars or trends. It's about feeling something. It's about expanding your world. It's about a song reminding you of a moment, maybe a road trip, a winter storm, a summer night. It's not about it's not about what TikTok content you can make with it. It's about a person you hate, a person you love, even a version of yourself you may have forgot, or a version of yourself you want to be. That's what makes music special. Music is supposed to mean something. And no stand war, no streaming number, no pitchfork score, and no Twitter debate can take that away. If you really love music, then act like it. Stop waiting to see if something is cool before you give it a chance. Stop treating albums like fast food. Stop limiting yourself to the same recycled sounds. There's so much music out there that could change your perspective, challenge your emotions, or even just make you move in a way you never have before. But you have to be willing to listen. So go out there and explore, play something unexpected. Listen to an album all the way through. Let a song sit with you before you judge it. And most importantly, stop letting other people decide what you should like. Because at the end of the day, music isn't about numbers. It's about you. And maybe some of y'all feel me on this. Maybe some of y'all feel me in what I'm talking about. You know, there's a lost art of just enjoying music. But to others, who knows? Maybe I'm just yapping. Thanks for watching. And most importantly, thanks for listening. I'm RenaMarq. Peace.